Hello and welcome to this themed out episode of the Beat Review livestream. Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome to the Halloween special. I know it's not Halloween just yet, but still, this is the Halloween special, so bear with me. Welcome. As you might be able to see, I'm not sure if it's too obvious or something, but a few things has been changed in the studio, you know? Just a few things. Nothing too much, nothing too fancy. No one kind of went out of the way to do a lot of stuff for no reason at all. Something just happened. I said something about it being Halloween, and then this just happened in the studio. I don't know. How did that happen? Well, new hat. No, of course, no, that's not it. There's something else. Something with the video. You should be able to notice that something's going on. I'm not going to tell what, but, you know, something has changed. Just a little bit. But it's good to be here. Cool to see you guys hanging out in the chat room. And just to make sure that I'm actually getting submissions for today. Okay, there has already been a few. Right now, or like 8 o'clock, when I was supposed to start before I clicked by accident and thought I was streaming, that's when you were able to send in your beats. And that also applies to right now. So, boom. Send beats to beatreview@accuratebeats.com. That's where all the beats should go. And, you know, I'm not going to be too hard about this, but I want all the beats to have some sort of a spooky Halloween theme. You know, we talked about that 2 weeks ago, and it's going to happen today. So everything needs to be dark and gritty and evil and spooky and whatever like that. One of those words. Scary, even. So, scary beats, spooky beats, Halloween-themed episode of the Beat Review. That's what's up. That is what's up. But we just for the, it doesn't really affect you, but just for my sense of atmosphere, and also just making my basement smell a little bit better. Need to do a little bit of this for real. And we have officially started this episode of the Beat Review livestream, Halloween theme. Made so well, I'm a bum. I missed the deadline. Can't wait for the heat. Made so well, missed the deadline? No, how can you? Symphonic Beats is in the house. Nate G is here. Blaze Beats, Icon74. Give me some ghosts and pumpkins and stuff in the chat. More than this. You can do more than this, I'm sure. Martin, Benj, Mickey Cuts, Salberts, Vita Beats. Thanks a lot for all the work on the videos with tagging all the beats and stuff. Made so well. That was a super chat and Symphonic Beats too. Okay, I did not see that. My bad. 2 super chats, $5 and $5. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So Salberts didn't make it. Salbert has had a little bit of a rough time lately, not finding all the inspiration. And that's what it is sometimes. But it's cool to have you here, nonetheless. I think I saw Chris here too. Chris52, Benj, Beat Owl, Blake Superior. All the normal people. I don't know if you're normal, but Wilden Beats. You're welcome. I do it when I miss the live and I replay later. Yeah, it's really appreciated. It's awesome to have that index on the videos. Appreciate it a lot. But if you can't tell, we have a thunderstorm going on and it's a little bit spooky. So I think it's maybe time to just jump into the inbox and see who has submitted so far and what we have. And don't worry, I'm not going to keep the light like this all the time. I'm not. It's going to become normal soon. But for now, this is, you know, I'm not getting sick of it yet. So whatever. And that looks kind of cool. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. Carbon Vibes is back. And we have a few pumpkins and some lit candles and some clowns and some ghosts and stuff in the chat. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. I love it. What did I say? I said something about the email. Yeah, cool. So if you want to participate in this, you know what to do. Send beats to not that website, but to that email. Send your beats to beatreview@accuratebeats.com. I'm not accepting, links to Soundcloud and YouTube. Links to actual files where I can download them and have them accessible to play them in my computer locally. That's fine. Anything else will just have to go. I'm sorry. But in the email, what do we have right now? I got logged out. Of course I got logged out. I was actually logged in. Now I have to verify it's me again. Same thing every week, but this time I was in there. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 beats. And I seriously hope that everything has some kind of a spooky vibe, some sort of Halloween theme going on. But you guys will have to live with these lights. Can I send something if it's not spooky? No, you can't. You can't. That's what the theme is all about. I'm sorry, but we already have that many beats, so I don't think we're going to have room for stuff out of the theme. And honestly, it's Halloween kind of soon, right? It's Halloween in a week or whatever. So we need to get into the mood. And the best way of doing that is to listen to beats from people in the community with somewhat of a Halloween theme. So Rockwell with the new logo. Oh, Rockwell is also in the house. In the house. With a new logo. Yeah, that's worth mentioning. Definitely. So, Benj, I sampled mine from an Italian horror soundtrack. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. So, should we just get into it? I think that's the best thing we can do. Which means that the first submission for today comes from Yuber. Huber. Yuber. Hey Accurate, I missed the last show, but I'm back, and once again I'm submitting a dissonant beat. I hope it's spooky enough and that you'll like it. For this track, I used some weird samples, a raw drum break, a bass guitar that I played and recorded myself. That's cool. And some vocals from old movies. It was made with my MPC and a bit of processing on the SP44 to give it that sketchy and gritty vibe. Okay, Huber, HBR36 in the chat, I guess. That's going to be the first one. I sampled violins from a video game. Then some VSTs. Cool. Now, Huber. Let's download the file. Let's find the file. Let's open VLC and empty that shit. I haven't tested the audio today, but I guess it's going to be like it was 2 weeks ago. The first beat comes from Huber. Let's go. And that audio did not come through. I knew I should have tested this before. Yeah, you can't hear the beat, I know. I'm fixing that real quick. VLC, properties, restart capture, okay. Let's give it another shot.
Have you ever felt that you knew what someone was going to say just before he said it? Or have you ever stepped in a strange room and had the sensation you've been there before? If you have, you've taken a small step
I do because of lady and such terrible eyes. But I cannot help myself.
Such a cool, nice touch at the end there with like half-tempo drums just going like totally crazy. Huber, tell me this in the chat, please. Did you make this for this week, for this kind of theme, or was this something that by accident just worked? Would be cool to know, and that goes for everyone that gets played. If you made this one over the last couple of weeks, or if this was just fitting the theme. The switch up was really cool. And, you know, we love all those drunk style rhythms with the drums and stuff. Cool stuff. You took it a little bit too far for this. I love it. Think it's awesome. Think it's fantastic. You know, chopping up a drum break like that and not aligning the end with the start to kind of get the, not just that all the hits are misaligned, but also that the loop point itself doesn't work. But it still kind of does. I think that's cool. Huber says this is a part of a project I started a few months ago. Okay, cool. Just so we know, it doesn't matter like that. But you know, if this was made on this theme, I would 100% buy it. 100%. Spooky and scary and feels like, you know, evil. Darkness in the best of ways. Not too serious that it becomes, you know, overly dramatic and it's hard to take seriously, but balancing the whole thing. Still spooky and scary and musical and cool. A part of me maybe wants a little bit more bass, but, you know. You do the whole alchemist thing, right? With like this long extended note in the bottom going. That's cool. And of course, dark pianos like that works really well with a horror kind of theme. So yeah, Nate G, nice bass line. It was. Definitely. And that's why I say I maybe want a little bit more of it. Maybe a little bit. Maybe not. Made on the MPC and added some stuff on the SP4-4. And you know, when you have that slow of a tempo and the chord changes becomes that slow, if it's repetitive or not doesn't really become an issue because it's that kind of extended and slow from the get-go. A few more notes in the bass line later on. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that more. It becomes more melodic, but still with the same vibe. And having the two different sections like that really works. And I mean that honestly. This. I haven't done that in years myself. It's really cool. Really cool. Really cool. Huber sent us the first submission for today, and it fit really well into the horror theme. Horror, spookiness, whatever. Lax22 said it best. Solid beat. Definitely. This was a solid beat. Nothing to complain about. Not much to complain about. Okay. Carbon Vibe says, I gotta make one before the end of the month. I'll submit it on the Accurate Christmas Challenge. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I haven't told anyone, and I've already thought about it. We're doing the same thing around Christmas. Christmas-themed beats. And think out of the box. It doesn't mean that you have to sample Christmas music, right? Just using this makes it Christmas. Whatever. Huber, thanks a lot for the first submission for this Halloween special. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Boom. And the next one comes from Mr. Chevy Ramlogan. Hey, Accurate. Chevy Ramlogan, aka Stormbborn Music. here. Firstly, many thanks for doing these beat reviews. The feedback and insight you provide is very helpful. I wanted to change things up a bit and submit a sample beat. I have layered in some extra instrumentation, and this is quite a departure from my usual jazzy chill style. Any comment would be greatly appreciated. And I hope it's on theme. I hope it's spooky or scary in some kind of way. Stormbborn, let's play. Yeah. And this is some really musical stuff. Someone said something about skeletons, and to me, this feels like a skeleton type of beat. We have ghosts, we have skeletons, we have pumpkins, we have vampires, all sorts of things. This felt like skeletons dancing around, being a little bit spooky. Super nice swing, and the whole breakdown thing with the break going dun 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 adds a lot of musicality, and it's really cool. This is one of those productions that someone who doesn't make music themselves can think like, yeah, that's easy enough. It's not that complicated. Keep it simple. But for someone who makes beats, this is not very simple. The idea of rum bum 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 bum, 8-note piano. A lot of people do that, and it's a cool thing to do. But the amount of stuff going on between the different hits, different variations of the counter melody being a little bit up front, a little bit in the background, together with the bass line, and this is what beat making is all about. Adding a bunch of small things together to create something new, Some samples, some instruments, doesn't really matter. If you have the swing, you have the feeling, and you have a wide variety of different sounds going on. I'm going to be excited about it. That's just what it is. This is nice. And then it drops like, we have some strings, we have some organ, we have really cool stuff. And I heard some traces of some pizzicato strings stuff in there. And to me, that's on theme, And going with horror, Halloween as a broader theme, this is totally on point. To me, this is scary enough. And high quality stuff. Musical, well produced, properly mixed, Just sounds good. Just sounds good. Very well done, Blake Superior. No, that's not you. I'm confusing myself. Stormborn. I'm messing up the names. Stormborn and Blake Superior. I kind of messed it up. This is from Stormborn Music. Great job. Great job for sure. So maybe it's time to get at least one of the lights working normally, right? That one could just be like that, and then I'm super orange, and that one still blinks. Okay, cool. Let's do I don't even know. Mid, front light. Okay, let's make this one normal. Cool. That's it for now. I don't know. A dope track, great work, hands down. Big up to Stormborn Music for sure. And the next submission comes from Marson. Re-upload live. Yeah, he submitted too early and I had to tell him no. Because we decided, you know. I took one of my dungeon synth drafts. For some Gangsta Street makeover. Ah, so you took one of your old projects, dungeon synth draft, and remixed it into Gangsta Street makeover. Not sure what to think about that, but guess it's on theme at least. So let's play it. Okay, this is Goblin. Martin. Okay, I'm reading the wrong name. This is Martin Goblin in the chat. Cool. Sorry, I'm messing everything up. Goblin, let's go.
A thinking monster. I'm afraid so.
Cool. That's evil in a whole different kind of way. Makes me think about monsters more than anything else. That's really cool. I mean, if you made some kind of dungeon synth thing or whatever you call it and then slap this on top of it and it became this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. The first thing I want to say that's a little bit critical is that I think the hype, it's a personal thing. It's always a personal thing. I think the hi-hat should be a little bit low. Could be. Not going to say should be. I think the hi-hat could be a little bit less loud. Just take it down a little bit because there's a lot of space in there. There's a good sense of space and movement. And this hi-hat feels a little bit stiff and a little bit louder to be just you know? I think just taking down the volume would open up the entire vibe a little bit more. And one of the things that makes this one scary is like, you know, if you wanted to make it nice and shiny and proper, you would just balance the levels differently. But this lead synth is a little bit too loud, which makes it cool, and it creates that tension that makes me think about horror or just something that's not very comfortable. But this is all in a good way because we are perfectly on theme. And the samples thrown in there. Screaming people, just being, you know. And that's why it feels like it's monsters more than anything. It's Frankenstein's monster, someone mentioned. Yeah, sure. Sorry I'm late. Chevy, you've already been played, man. Yours was the last track. You missed it. But Chevy Ramlogan is... Let's not be confused again. Not Blake Superior. Chevy is Stormbborn. Yeah, you have been played just a few minutes ago. And this was Martin Goblin. And that kind of string stuff again, it feels like we're kind of on the same level here about string sounds, pizzicatos, down-pitched pianos, heavy bass, and just spookiness. Gives it that little bit of extra. You know, all those synths could just be background instruments. But since you put them up front like this, together with this drum break that feels like the old Matrix movie, it's cool. It's... what's the word? It feels... there's a word for when you're like closed into a small space. Can't even remember it in Swedish, but yeah. When you're closed in a small space and panic just starts from something. The hi-hat sounds fine. Yeah, it sounds fine. I just want it to be a little bit lower. That's me. But I always have opinions. You know me. So that's Martin Goblin. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Spooky and on theme. I don't know if it was very... Of course it was intentional with all those samples in there. My bad. My bad. And let's just move into the next one because we have a lot of beats to play today. We have a lot of good stuff to listen to. And maybe some bad stuff. Who knows? This one is from Atmosphere. This is a beat I made using Cherished Treasures by Les Reeds from the Creepshow 2 soundtrack. I stem separated the song, I chopped up the parts I found useful and pitch shifted it to work seamlessly. Hope you like it. Yeah, me too. You know, a lot of people seem to be sampling soundtracks for this, which is not a bad idea. There's a lot of horror movies, a lot of good and a lot of bad ones. Now, let's have a listen to Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
beautiful. It's on theme. Damn. That's really good. Really good. Who was this? Again, Atmosphere. Jesus. I had to lower the volume on my headphones a little bit because it became a little bit much. But this is really good. Far from the stuff I make myself, because, you know, I'm this making stuff that's somewhat clean. It feels like this is totally on point, totally on theme, super spooky, super scary, super heavy. Heavy is the right word for this. Mickey Cutts said it. Oof, heavy. Yeah, heavy is the word. A lot of you people seem to go for a really low tempo and distortion. Screw the 2 minutes, give us the whole thing. Yeah, this wasn't... I'm trying to. This one ended right there. This one is 2 minutes and 14 seconds. So, yeah. People know by now. You can't submit something that's 5 minutes. This one, as you know, as a beat, as a piece of music, this is impressive. Really good. I have a little bit of I have this weird relationship myself with distortion and like whenever things becomes overly saturated, distorted, overdriven, call it whatever you want. But this was awesome. You didn't overdo it any little bit.
Atmosphere.
And the different versions, the different switch ups, the different chord changes that creates this tension that feels horror movie-esque. I just need to find a section. This, to me, this is beautiful. This kind of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, kind of ocarina, some sort of flute, whatever, that just blends in so well. And the choirs and the drums and the percussion. Ooh. For sure. Atmosphere. Heavy, deep, evil, scary, aggressive, chaotic. Awesome stuff. I'm just really impressed by this one. There's something about the entire like sound stage here that just... And the different grooves. We could talk about this one for days. I would never use a snare drum like this myself. But if I were to make something spooky, I would try to. And you did it, and you did it well. For sure. And the entire like bass frequency just rumbles. Atmosphere. Boom. I'm lost for words. This was just, especially on the theme, especially on this theme. Great job. Great job. Let's move along. But yeah, Atmosphere made some fire stuff right here. For sure. Let's jump into the next one. Blaze Beats. We are gonna listen to your music. What's good, accurate? It's Blaze Beats. Hope you like my beat. And me too. Hope we all like it. Hope you're proud of it and you enjoyed making it. And I hope that everyone will love it. You know, that's the best case scenario. Blaze Beats. Let's go.
Hello, Dana. This is your old friend,
fucked up. Let's rewind a few seconds. 20. Yeah, J to the K said it. The drum programming is huge. Yeah, a lot of drum hits going on in a really, really cool way. And as a producer, sometimes you can't stop thinking about a few things. What's going on with the reverb on like the on that thing? It feels like there's a lot of reverb, but we're not getting a lot of tail on it whenever it stops playing. So maybe it is something with a lot of reverb in itself and you kind of resample it. I don't know. It's cool and extremely creative.
Hello, Dana.
It's a delay, my bad.
This is your old friend. You know me.
You know, everything about music production is a matter of balance, you know, finding a balance between the highs and the lows and like the soft and the hard and everything. In this case, if we didn't have this crazy kind of drum programming on it, it would still be kind of cool, but way less interesting. So I think you rescued this one a lot with having those really busy drums. But it's also like, it's unfair of me to say that because it's not like you made the thing and then decided on the drums. You designed them together and that's why it works, you know? So to me, this is cool. Again, some overdriven, distorted stuff and some notes just with the delay being doubled and kind of not working and being a little bit messy and, you know, in context,
I'll be seeing you soon. Actually, I see you right now.
To me, this is not a ghost, this is not a skeleton, this is not a monster. This is like the girl from The Ring or something. Like a possessed woman being all... Is that The Ring? I don't know if it is. I haven't watched that much horror movies lately. The Search? No, I don't know what I'm talking about. But that sort of like possessed black-haired girl, that's like creepy. Whatever. The bass line should also be noted. I don't know what to say about it, but there is a bass line and it's not bad, so it should be noted. Now my watch and my phone is going off like crazy, so something has to be up. I don't know. And no, that had nothing to do with me. Yes, I have to check my phone. Something. Okay, cool. Blaze Beats. Did you say something yourself? Those. Cool. GG says it's too stereo. Maybe it is. In some way a bit chaotic to my ears. Yeah, I think it should be kind of chaotic. But since we're talking about stuff in this context of everything being spooky and scary and horror-esque, horror-ish, I'm judging things way differently and thinking about things in that context. Because if you wanted to make something that's less obviously horror-themed, I'm sure you would have done something else, you know? Here's another one from Datadiff. Datadiff? Datadiff. Hey, Accurate. I sent you tonight a dark beat for your review. I hope you'll enjoy the beat. Thanks for all your work on YouTube. I'm sure you help a lot of beat makers as me. Good listening. This one is from France. Cool. A dark beat. That's all the description we got. A dark beat. Let's listen to a dark beat from Datadiff. Okay. Cool. There is a little bit of spookiness and some kind of vibe like that in this one as well, but in a different way, because this whole wow, 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 trombone, saxophone, trumpet, whatever it might be, adds a whole different layer of the thing. It doesn't feel aggressive. It doesn't feel like chaotic. It's sad. And kind of creepy. That's a fun thing. I mean, obviously, that loop that goes in the beginning here, this... That's the tension we're looking for. That's the horror kind of tension, being spooky, like old Psycho in the behind the shower curtain. For sure. But then this, and I think I love it. You know, it's not like I hate it. I think I love it. Wow. Sorry about that. Someone mentioned something about the kick drum here, and if you didn't, I would have. This is a nice track in every sense of the word, but the kick drum could be improved, and that would lift the entire thing a lot. A lot. Because right now, the kick drum just works as a kick drum. But if we had kind of a fuller, a bigger, not necessarily distorted, but just a kick drum with more tone and more punch and more bass, it would be different and maybe better. Now we have the bass notes taking like the entire low end of the spectrum, which is not bad, but a part of me just wants a little bit more kick drum. Not more notes, but just a different sample. We're splitting hairs. We're talking about the details. I like the tension, the spookiness, but then also the horn. This is cool. Well produced, well made. With a different kick drum, I think it would be a little bit stronger still. And maybe just open up the filter on the piano, on the main, not the main, but on this. Maybe it needs to come out just a little bit more. I don't know. And again, with the snares and the flams and the rolls and everything, a nice touch for sure. You described this one as dark, and that's what it is. It's dark. It's melancholic, it's sad, it's a little bit depressed, it's not very happy and positive. It fits the theme, but in a different way than anything else so far. Thanks a lot for sending this one in from Datadiff. Awesome stuff. And we still have a lot of beats to go through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 or 16. I can't count. I think we're going to be able to run through them all. I think so. The next submission comes from someone we all know from previous episodes. Mickey Cuts. Hey Accurate, hey fam. This is my beat. Samples with simply drums on top. Added some voice chops from the movie Psycho. I hope you will enjoy it as much as I did enjoy making it. Glad to be here tonight. Thank you very much for all your work. Thank you for being a part of this thing, Mickey. You know you are appreciated, right? Mickey Cuts. The track is called Snare Shot, and it's supposed to have a sample from Scream? No, from Psycho. Can't remember what I just read. Whatever, let's have a listen to Mickey Cuts. I'm doing something with OBS today. I'm really sorry about that.
They're probably watching me. Well, let them. Let them see what kind of a person I am. I'm not even going to swat that fly. I hope they are watching. They'll see. They'll see and they'll know. And they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Yeah, Mickey Cuts. Thanks a lot for sending this one my way. I think we all can learn a lot of stuff from this specific beat. I know I could, and I'm sure some of you guys can too. We talk about stuff being like, minimalistic, and we talk about the benefits of keeping it simple. There's something special when you have just a few elements fitting that well together, that you don't really have to do much. And you still did. You still added a bunch of things. But since we have this super, super solid foundation of, what is it even? Some kind of guitar with a lot of reverb, bass, and drums.
Probably.
Just notice that on the bass. This is so... Damn! When you work this... when you work this well, it's this properly mixed and it's this well put together, you just can't go wrong, you know? And everywhere there's, a little goblin coming up from that little rock over there. There's a little ghost coming out from the corner. Things just happens everywhere. Small, tiny things, but you do notice them and they create an entire vibe. I don't know what it is with this one. I have a hard time putting my finger on what it is, but it's something that makes this one, even though it's kind of open, I guess it's just the mixing. It's open and it flows nicely and everything works musically perfectly.
Wouldn't even harm us.
Okay, it's a bass guitar. You played it yourself, Mickey? That's my friend playing. I'm lucky to know this magician. He recorded a lot of stems and I'm just chopping them from time to time. Okay, yeah, that's a life hack if I ever heard one.
Fly.
And okay, the bass line is doing a lot of work here for sure, but the bass line itself wouldn't be anything. It's the entire composition that makes everything work. That bass line together with those drums, together with the chords and stuff and the things coming in and out. Damn. This is something I could just listen to for days. Nice and chill and laid back and whatever, but still so much emotion, so much. As an instrumental, for sure.
Even harm us.
Bim-bidi-dim. And a lot of space, a lot of air. Jesus. Thank you so much. Every time I feel so shy. You have nothing to be shy about. Shy over? Don't be shy. This is great. Okay, we can't listen to it anymore. We can't. But the vibe, the mood, the goblins, damn. Mickey Cuts. This is one of those beats I'm not gonna forget. This is one of those beats I'm not gonna remember. No. Great stuff. Impressive. To the point where I got kicked out of my inbox. And now I'm logged into the wrong email. Mickey Cuts, I'm impressed. Very impressed. The next track comes from Vita Beats. The person who helps me out with many of these videos. Helps me out with the videos might be an exaggeration, but you know, he leaves timestamps on these videos sometimes, and it's amazing. Yo, I heard the idea of an Halloween beat. I heard an idea of an Halloween beat at the end of the last show. It got me motivated. I made this beat especially for tonight. It's called Poetic Death. It's going to be a great themed episode. Peace. Yeah, we've done about an hour so far, and I think we are on a winning streak. A lot of good beats. Still don't know what to do with my lighting. Now it's like purple, red in the background, matching my shirt and matching these ones. Pumpkins. ADHD. Which I don't have, by the way. I'm not one of those. One of those? I'm sorry. Shit. Stop talking. Let's listen to Vita Beats. Poetic Death.
No. You're going underneath the ground tonight. And that's all there is to it. I want to bury you.
You motherfucking black bastard! You're gonna die!
absolutely die. Even if you avoid this death, another will find you. And I guarantee that it won't be nearly as poetic.
Vita Beats, my man. This was cool. I kind of knew that something was gonna happen over here. This section is really cool with the strings and that really heavy bass line. But let's get to that. I knew that something was coming, but I couldn't see what. And that type of choir was the best choice ever. You know, instead of just playing chords on whatever, it's a huge Gregorian, a church choir going like, oh, oh, oh. So vibey, so cool. Laughs and stuff. Love this one. This is awesome. My only real point of criticism here, because sometimes I have some, I think overall the drums could be different.
I want to bury you.
The build-up is crazy.
You black bastard! You're gonna die!
The swing is cool. It fits well. Maybe it's just a matter of the mixing. Maybe it's just a matter of dynamics, overtones. Maybe I would prefer different samples. I don't know. Just feels like stylistically there's a little bit of a gap between the evil beat, the evil instruments, and the drums. Goblin, I was expecting some more crazy stuff, but it's nice. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'm feeling too. Something that just... But when you've listened to 8 bars of it and you kind of settled into it, it's awesome the way it is too. It's great the way it is. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying, what would happen if you did something more aggressive, more in your face, more gritty with the drums? I hear you. I was trying to not make the drums too aggressive. Yeah. And maybe that's a good choice. We haven't heard a version with more aggressive drums, so we don't know what we're talking about. But in my mind, it's just a slight mismatch between the two. But again, after 8 bars and you're into it, and all those samples and that flip, that turnaround. Everything here is so freaking good. I just think it could be taken to one next level with different drum sound somehow. Maybe swing it some more. Maybe not. I don't think that's the answer. Swing it more. But yeah, Rockwell said it too. I think everything sits pretty nicely. And it does. It definitely does. It's just my producer brain start to go like, could we do something with the drums? Would it be better? Would it be worse? Would it be different? But you know, Vita Beats, fire. Let me just say that real quick. This one was made for this purpose. I'm sure some beats have just been submitted because they kind of fit into the theme and they sent it and they made it a year ago. That's fine. But the fact that we are on this crazy kind of level with this stuff, to me it's almost scary, you know, knowing that at least some of you kind of watches my videos when I make beats too, and when I do live streams of beat making, and you guys are so fucking talented. The level is crazy. You guys are good. For sure. And as I'm just talking, let me just mention this too. Earlier today, I got a call from the hospital. I did this new MRI scan a few weeks ago. They wanted to do a checkup and just see if anything happens with the brain, if I have any kind of growth on the traces of the brain tumor. She called me back today to say that it all looks perfectly the way it did a few years ago. Nothing has happened. Nothing has grown. You know, there's not a brain tumor. There's nothing happening. I'm good. And getting that call was huge. I mean, I know that I'm fine and everything. And I've known that before. This was just a secondary confirmation years after. But when you do an MRI scan and you start worrying about what the results may be, that's more horror and more pain than we've heard in this stream so far. And getting the call saying that everything looks good makes Accurate a happy guy. And the chat room is happy to hear this. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I was actually kind of concerned. It feels like sometimes I have bad luck and things just happen. This time around, it's the opposite. There's no growth on anything. I just have a normal brain. Somewhat normal, I guess. Now, the next submission in this episode of the Beat Review livestream with a Halloween theme comes from Symphonic Beats. Hello, Accurate. It takes a special occasion for me to use my Porter Studio, and this is just that. Yeah, you brought out the Porter Studio. I've thought about bringing out my Tascam 424 too. But yeah, looking forward to your thoughts and very much looking forward to hearing everyone else's beats. That's the mindset. That's the perfect mindset to have. 100%. So the next submission comes from Symphonic Beats, and I got a super chat from Carbon Vibes. Glad all is well, brother. $5 and $10 from Blake Superior Beats to continued health, happiness, and hip hop. That should be a tattoo. I still have space here somewhere. Health, happiness, and hip hop. Damn. And thank you for congratulating me in the chat. It means a lot. This was actually kind of a huge thing for me, and it feels good. Now, it's time for Symphonic Beats on the stream. Let's go in there. Let's go in there. That didn't work. Okay, now I know. Symphonic Beats, let's go. We're doing Halloween beats. Everything needs to be scary, spooky, something like that. Dark and gritty. Jesus. Whew. Was that the scariest beat so far? Maybe it was. Maybe it was. I'm not sure. And of course, I gotta point it out. Sampling me gives you one bonus point, or even two. We're doing Halloween beats. Everything needs to be scary, spooky, something like that. Dark and gritty. I'm realizing I could have said that differently with a little bit more hype, but whatever. Jesus. I think this is like the third or maybe the fourth time someone has used my speaking voice as a sample. And sampling my voice like that is a cool idea, and it's, just feels crazy to hear someone else's audio file with me, whatever. First of all, initially I thought this was just going to be this. Just noises and ambient and horror. And then the drums coming in. And I mean, I don't want to dissect this too much, but there's something really cool that happens when you have like proper musical values going dum 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 dum. A normal bass line, and on top of that you have something that just ascends. It's like, sure, there's we're talking about sound with a note, but since there's so much stuff happening and everything just going, wah, it creates this entire like musical environment that's unsettling to be in. And also huge. The ambience was from a Dragon Age ambient scene. Oh, that's creative. Built around that. So you sampled ambient sound from Dragon Age. That's cool. It's difficult to combine that amount of noises and sound and notes and rhythms at once without it becoming all crazy and too much. Awesome stuff. Super spooky, super interesting and vibey and Gravediggers vibes. Yeah, maybe a little bit of that too. Made so well, sent 5 Accurate Beats gift memberships. Yeah, that's one of those things, I don't know how it works. And Benj showed up with 420 pounds. Appreciate that, man. I really do. Awesome. I want to hear Mr. Liff and LP on there. Yeah, LP with a whole kind of industrial sound. This one has a little bit of that going on. But also so musical, so melodic. And that's also difficult, getting something to be this melodic but still kind of evil. Great stuff. Really, really appreciate this one too. Symphonic Beats showing up with some good stuff for real. Let me just refresh the inbox here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 more. 13 because Benj made a mistake. Let's just keep on moving. The next track comes from Icon74. Saying Icon74 here, and it's my beat for the Halloween special. You're going to be played right now on the Halloween special. Icon74.
Halloween. The Festival of Samhain. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago when the hills ran red with the blood of animals and children.
I'm just sitting here. We played 2.5 minutes. It's 4.5 minutes. Letting the entire thing play out. Not in this case. This, again, the theme is slow and chaotic. And I'm here for it. The entire night, you know? Slow tempos, a lot of loud stuff going crazy together with, like, you know, semitone, seminote things, progression stuff. Good. Great. Someone pointed out that there's a reverb on the snare, and I'm not a fan of it. Reverb should not go on snare drums. We've talked about this. You guys should know better. It's my opinion. In this case, it kind of flies because of the theme and everything. My problem with this one, because I do have a problem, the kick drum. The composition itself, the noises, the sounds, the atmosphere, you just nailed it. The atmosphere and the vibe here is perfectly on theme. It's spooky, it's scary, it's unsettling, but the kick drum should have been a different one. So that's... Oh wait, I had it too. I don't know. The kick drum, my only problem with the kick drum, I mean, it's boom, boom. It's punchy on the high end, but it's not punchy on the low end, which makes it kind of unbalanced in this kind of way. You have bass and stuff going on in the track, but still, I think there's room for some more low frequencies on the kick drum. Again, with the evil laughters and some weird scratch stuff, that fits really well in context. It's not like super professional, clean scratching, but the way it works in the track, I think you're getting away with it, and it adds something cool. Oh, J to the K asks a good question. Did you get an email from a Proton account? I bet I did. I'm going to check that soon. Icon74, great job. You nailed the atmosphere and the vibe of it. It's so scary. It's so cool. It's so on theme. It's great. The kick drum is what it is. I want it to be darker, muddier, bassier. This could work together with a different layer or whatever you want to do. That's my only point of criticism, because, you know, if this was like a normal beat, I would also say the mix could be balanced differently, because we want more of the drum. I don't know. Everything feels really loud, and I guess that's intentional because it's supposed to be kind of like haunting, and it is. It works really well. Thanks a lot, Icon74. I know you haven't been played every time you send something in, but today you were featured. Why does it say 74? 46? No, okay. Let's go to the spam. Strategic approaches for accuratebeats.com. Drafts, because sometimes emails from Proton comes into my trash bin or whatever it's called. Can I even see? Okay, the way it's set up right now, I can't see the email it comes from if I don't open it. But I can't find my. That's the trash. So I guess it's actually in the inbox. I guess it is. We're gonna keep moving, playing more music, and hopefully we're gonna get to you too. Blaze Beats again, just making sure I sent it. You did. And the other one, the next one, comes from a Proton mail. So maybe that's you, just by accident. Yo, Ack. Here's a tune that I made a few months ago, but I thought it fits today's motto. Some sad, scary, evil soundtrack type stuff. As usually, I layered some samples and played a little bit of bass/pad on top of it. Not the biggest arrangement, but you'll get the point. The mix still needs some work though. Thanks for playing my shit. From this person. Since it's Proton, I don't want to say more than I need, but it's from a person with a Proton mail and who doesn't really sign the email. So let's play this track right here. If you want to make yourself known in the chat, you're more than welcome to. Let's go. So that's what you mean by soundtrack type stuff. Cool. I mean, this is not bad. It's not a beat in like the normal sense of the word, but still atmospheric and cool and unsettling again. The tension, the stuff going on, the movement in the background on the bass. Really cool. I would want to listen to this on my speakers instead of my headphones, but it doesn't work with the streaming. Is my mic on? Yeah, my mic is on. But everything that was going on in the lower frequency here was what I found to be the most interesting stuff, actually. There's a lot of one note, like that one. But like, imagine in a different dimension where the demons live, and you have this really steady slow motion camera just panning through like fire and, you know, mayhem. And this just rumbling in the cinema, for instance. The bass just rumbles, and then you have these like flute notes. Really atmospheric, really cool, really moody. But sure, would I love to sample this? Yeah. There's some noise going on too. I mean, this is interesting stuff. What did you say about it? I layered some samples and played a little bit of bass/pad on top of it. Okay, so I guess the flute or whatever it is a part of the sample. But honestly, listening to this on headphones isn't really fair. And also being deaf on one ear doesn't feel fair, because I guess there's a lot of padding stuff going on here. It sounds really cool. It sounds professionally made, whatever. And it fits the theme perfectly. Perfectly. Thanks a lot for sending this one in. JK. J to the K in the chat. Awesome stuff. Thanks. And it's also, honestly, really, really cool to get some stuff that's not necessarily beats. There's a lot of textures, a lot of atmosphere, a lot of structure. Blah, blah. Great stuff. Interesting, for sure. Now we have another track from someone called Arbus. Arbus was in the chat, is in the chat. Oh yeah. Arbus says, "Hey man, got a soulful submission for you guys. Let me know what you think." Does that mean it's still scary, or is it just a soul flip? Just a soul flip. Who am I becoming? And this is in Google Drive. Open with, no. Share, no. How do you download? File, download. Yeah, you go to File and you click Download. Stupid. This track comes from Arbus. A soulful submission. Let's just see if it's horror themed or not. We're gonna play it nonetheless. It's loud. I also cranked the volume for the cinematic one. Let's go. I sent 2 beats. This is not spooky. Okay. Oh, my bad. There's another email just underneath it. Play this one instead. The other one isn't spooky at all. Okay. And we gotta be like that. We gotta be concise. We gotta be, this is the spooky beat, and that's what's gonna go on this show. Arbus with the spooky submission. Let's go. The file still plays, so I'm not sure, but it seems to be over. Yes. I mean, first of all, the amount of crackle, it's cool, but would it work in a context other than this? Maybe it would. I want to make it quick. I love this. That's the camera. I love the snare drum. The snare is chef's kiss. I love the bass. Deep and subby and heavy and a little bit funky too, but not in the way that it's not serious or whatever. All those notes colliding and becoming like spicy. It's definitely spooky and really on theme, really cool. Maybe the entire mix could be shifted. It feels like it's a little bit bass heavy. But you also said that the crackle is from the sample itself. So if you would have kind of cranked the treble, it would be unbearing. It's a cool track, and the swing and the funkiness, in lack of a better word, of the drums really makes it fun to listen to. Also has a little bit of LP, the LP vibe, company flow, whatever. But yeah, great job. This is really cool. This one came in from Arbus, right? Arbus, thanks a lot for submitting. This was a blessing. Cool stuff. Then we have the email from Benj, and that's the first one, so let's not play that one, because he said he wants me to play the other one, right? Benj. And your time will come, but there's a lot of beats before too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more beats. The last one is R Sig, and I'm not going to accept any more after that. And there hasn't been any more. So yeah, we're going to be able to do them all. Awesome stuff. The next track comes from GG. From my recent album, Short Attention Spans, Long Conversations on Bandcamp. Well, okay. It's not made for this, obviously, but you submitted it for the Halloween special, so let's hope that it's kind of on theme anyways. From GG. That's Jeejee. No, my bad. Let's go. And GG says it's kind of on theme. I didn't know the stream had Halloween theme before I joined in. I think this fits perfectly well into the theme. It's dark and gritty, and it's evil, and it's nasty, and it's nice. And I think it's really interesting when you have submissions like this, or when you hear music like this in general, where like the musical elements are pretty much two chords going boom, boom. And then the drums does a lot of heavy lifting, but the main instrument is pretty much the bass line that creates like melodies and counter melodies and everything that's going on. Makes it fun to listen to because it becomes way more interesting than what the chord values on the thing itself is. Some notes are a little bit sharp and some notes are a little bit flat, and that brings it perfectly on theme. By accident, but still. And again, this is one of those tracks that would probably be better on speakers than on headphones because I can't really get the full sense of how deep the bass line is compared to the drums. Because what I'm hearing, the drums are a little bit thin. Feels like there's a little bit of a gap in the frequency spectrum between like a lot of stuff in the bass, a lot of stuff in the highs. It's V-shaped or U-shaped or whatever you want. And I guess on speakers, you can't even notice that. But on headphones, I'm reacting to it just a little bit. But this amount of scratching on that level, on that, not doing it super loudly, so tasteful, so cool, so nice. And this one also makes me think about LP. The bass line is so interesting. So interesting. It's great. No, I can hear it on my speakers. Made so well. I mean, I'm talking about details. That the drums might be a little bit thin. Who cares when it's this cool? Some sort of drum break with a lot of layers and textures and stuff going on. Interesting and cool. Nice job, JJ. GG. JJ would be JJ. This is GG. So it's not G like the letter G. I have, I don't know, GG. Thanks a lot for submitting. This was a dope track. And, I appreciated the bass line more than anything. That bass line and that drum break. Mwah. Match in heaven. The next track comes from Tor... No. not again. Not again. Reading the full names. The next one comes from Lax Scary 2. So Lax 22. Lax Scary 2. Cool. Sending one of my spookier ones today. Excited for the show tonight. No master, no track name given, and just a 4 of 4 per usual. I sampled some mid-80s Swedish fusion this time, by the way. Good luck with the stream. I wonder what that might be. Mid-80s Swedish fusion. You didn't go for Bo Hansson, did you? Who knows? Lax 22, let it shine. Okay, cool. A lot of people pointed out in the chat that this is not very scary. And I think that, that's fine too. It's still dark and it's kind of, it's kind of dark, but it's not scary. It's not like spooky that way. And that's fine. What I want to say about this is that, the vibiness and the drums and the tempo and the feeling, the mood is nicely crafted. It's really cool. What I appreciate here is what happened at the end with the whole flip that added a little bit more note values of things. Because in lack for a better word, it feels a little bit one note. Could be dealt with an EQ, just grabbing some of the high frequencies, making them stand out. But ultimately, what I want here is some sort of melody somewhere. doesn't need to be a full thing, just something, I talk about that more than I should, I guess, but I think melodies makes the world go round. Rhythm, harmonies, melodies. This is nice and dreamy and beautiful and cool as it is, but adding a few notes here and there would just help creating a melody, something for me to remember this beat by. And, it's not very scary. It's not sending you one of my spookier ones today. I mean, if you don't make stuff on the theme, you're just grabbing something from the catalog, it's not going to be spooky. It's not going to be scary. Who makes that stuff? I guess some people do, but in this case, nah, not very spooky, but still dark. That's all I'm going to say about that. People seem to be a little bit upset about it. Whatever. Lax22, love having you. You know that. Thanks a lot. The next beat comes from Varvas. Yo, accurate. Here some beat from Finland, made on NPC/Reason. I put the same beat in that first message. Sorry, here's one for Halloween. Okay. Multiple emails. Sorry, here's one for Halloween. Okay, cool. And the track is called Devil's Trick, so it sounds to be on theme. By Ville Varvas, or Ville Varvas, I don't know. Let's go. We're gonna play this one out. Overtime or whatever. I think this is cool. This one has a lot of potential. The atmosphere, the textures, everything is there. But honestly, I think this snare drum was not your strongest choice. Just a tiny low-pitched kind of rim shot would have done the job better than this. It works well for the intro, but whenever it starts like punching, when it gets a little bit more busy, I would love for it to be something else. Maybe like, you know, what's that? 2 wooden sticks, a rim shot, maybe some kind of muted snare drum. This kind of slappy hand clap thing doesn't really fit in with the vibe. And the vibe is dark and nice. The bass is really cool. Love the bass line here. But again, maybe I'm getting tired and kind of like negative, but even though everything in here is awesome and good, except from the snare, a part of me still wants more. Just a little bit. Again, it feels a little bit one note, it feels a little bit stale, a little bit monotone, and that's a sound, that's a style to go for when you're trying to make something that's horror themed, 100%. You nailed everything about the textures and the sound design and everything. Sounds good. This one was 2.5 minutes, and I would love to hear, you know. No, I'm wrong. We had this whole thing. My bad. I take it back. I take everything I said back. Just gotta hear it again. And it's gonna come. That's a nice touch. Okay. I take everything back. You had this entire section. This makes a whole lot of difference. I would love to hear that twice. Once a little bit earlier and one a little bit later. But yeah, you did the switch up that I was asking for. So, my bad. And it's really slow, very low energy. It's cool for what it is. And again, I just gotta mention this. It's also pretty unfair of me to sit here and judge things like this because we've done this for 2 hours now, and we've had a lot of beats. Hard-knocking, punchy, dramatic, distorted stuff, some kind of atmospheric, cinematic stuff, and everything in between. So this one, in context, it becomes not boring, but it doesn't stand out. And it doesn't need to. But in this context, it kind of... I have a hard time letting go of that because the whole stream is music, and switching from one kind of subgenre to another one, you know, it's not fair. This is good stuff. Not the snare. That's it. Varvas. Thanks a lot for sending it in, and it was on point, totally on theme and everything. The chat room, what are you saying? Double speed drums would be nice. We all know reverb on snare. Yeah, I'm not even gonna mention it. But I also kind of complained about everything about that snare drum, so whatever. The beat cast. I don't know if I'm too late, but I just threw one in there. Is it on theme? Is it on Halloween theme? Al, did you make something that feels like Halloween? Scary, spooky horror? You might be a little bit too late. Let me double check the inbox. I said our SIG was going to be the last one. And it's still the last one. I haven't gotten anything from you. And that's a duplicate one. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 more beats to go. This is nice. This one comes from Thai Beats. Just a crazy interlude style of beat, only 1 minute long, but it's still unsettling and scary. Thai Beats. If you need more scary beats, if you get it, it's an experimental beat with horror samples. Because you submitted again. I don't know. This is the first one, and that's what I'm gonna plow. Maybe not. That doesn't feel fair. No, it's the only one. I only got one from you, and we're gonna play it. Boom. So this is Thai Beats. Let's go. So, I'm gonna be stupid right now. How do you even make stuff like that? To me, that's a mystery in itself. I know how to make beats, looping stuff up and whatever, structure and all that. How do you do something like this? Just so cool. I mean, there is a beat and a rhythm in there, but it's not like concise and consistently like a loop. This was cool. So, okay, just a crazy interlude type of beat, only a minute long, but it's unsettling and scary. It is. And it's cool to actually hear that it comes from a hip-hop beat maker. It's really obvious, but with just a few minor tweaks, it could very well be like someone who makes horror music for movies, you know? Someone who's just working with sound design. But it still has a little bit of a hip-hop kind of sound to it. Imagine an accurate type of chill beat making video, but with this. I mean, that wouldn't work at all. But it's cool. A lot of made so well. This was cool, crazy, and glitch. Yeah, a lot of glitches like that is definitely unsettling and gives you that kind of horror-themed vibe that works, especially for this kind of context. Great stuff. I'm just confused by how you put something like that together. I want to make interludes. Feels like a cool project to do. Thai Beats, thanks a lot for sending that one in. And Al, I just got your submission. It's right here. And you're going to be ending the show today. Going to be the last beat for today. But we still have a few ones to play. This one is... I mean, I gotta be like this. I'm sorry. This submission is not a file. It's not a link to a file. It's just a link to a YouTube video. And I've said that. I'm not gonna play stuff like that, so I didn't. Let's move on to Benj. What up, Benj? Yo, a usual dope beat review stream made even doper with the dope team. Dope as fuck. You're dope accurate. Peace. Okay, cool. So, no overusage of the word dope there. None at all. Benj, let's fucking go. Have you noticed that every time I say let's fucking go, I can't click it? Let's listen to a dope beat. Now it worked. Yeah, Benj showing up with some cool stuff. The first word that comes to mind listening to this is like, to me as a beatmaker myself, many of the things in here feels unexpected. You know, when you're looking for samples in general and you find string samples like this, you always have this kind of spring hopefulness kind of vibe about it. And you used something that sounded like that and then cut it out in a way that made it fun. And just going on top, going above. I don't know, man. What did you do? It's cool. It's, I mean, again, really cinematic. Feels like something that could be played in a movie with, like, again, the aftermath of a really gruesome kind of horror scene. Something like that. Super swingy, cool drums with a lot of vibes to it. But hands down, the strings is what makes this one what it is. not too little, not too much, just nice and simple, not simple, just nice and cool and vibey. Classic in a good way. Yeah, but with a string sample like this, I would expect something different. And you made this. This is really cool. Benj, you did this earlier today? I made it in a rush last night. Okay, cool. Cinematic, beautiful, cool. Kind of definitely on theme. Feels like, doomsday kind of music. Not talking about MF Doom, just Armageddon. And because we have a little bit of that hopefulness together with this kind of like slit someone's throat vibe, it's a cool mix. It's nice. Benj, I like this one. Like is just too weak of a word. That's the email. Cool. Thanks a lot for sending it in, Benj. Really appreciate it. Perfectly on theme, nice and moody, spooky, more than anything. S. Rig says, yo, accurate. It's not really scary, but if the file don't work, I will send an MP3 soon as a follow-up. It's not scary? It's not really scary? Okay, why do you... And then another one with the same file. So we have this one, we have Master Scratch, and we have Il Al. Let's go with this one, S-Rig, and it's not very scary. I mean, it's 2 minutes of our life, so let's play something that's not necessarily scary. Maybe I shouldn't. Asking you guys will take too long, so let's just...
So do Griselda.
Gonna do some live shit on this?
Listen. Griselda.
Yeah.
Hey yo, your arms too short to box the fly guard. Saber just Stormbborn Python. Balenciaga arena swing. My brother dropped out of school, that nigga rather get paid. I graduated high school, skipped college, went straight to the feds. My man said he'd rather do life than rather be dead. Balmain motors 500 a leg. Burgundy toes on the feds. Chainsaw the brick in 36 pieces. Mac in the kid bleakest. White or white label truck, they thought the kid was Jesus. I could turn 1 or 2. My shooters rock the trench in the summer too. Got niggas passing some excellence. Pyrex for drastic measurements. Only giving bitch dick and peppermint. Hey yo, walk like a drug dealer. Talk like a drug dealer. Dressed like a drug dealer. SKS for a fuck nigga. Giuseppe's with the gold balls. Buckets full of gold bottles. Silk Versace vintage shit. Medusa heads with the gold goggles. Rose gold Murcielago. The whack, that's the ball. Welcome home, Chapo. Spending blood money up in Bergdorf. Betty Hall bright knocking birds off. Ingredients on my hammer mix. Poker style when the pot gotta taste the rich. Getting million on the corner, fly as fuck. Eating Tory Burke pussy on the foreign.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think this one kind of passes as on theme somehow. Scary, just because of the notes being like into each other. And this is the first submission today with vocals. I just gotta be honest, I'm not a big fan of West Side Gun. I'm not. because this was, a remix kind of scenario of West Side Gun, and I've never been much of a fan of him. Something about the voice, he feels pushes himself in a way that I don't like. Whenever Ghostface or Action does something like that, I appreciate it. West Side does it in a way that I think it's not fun to listen to. If we heard this one without the vocals, I think the beat would be kind of crazy mixed. The bass and the overarching like bell sounds or whatever it is. Oh, everything's mixed up. S-Rig, West Side Gun, freestyle. There
So do
Zelda.
some
Yo. Hey yo, your arms too short to box the fly guard. Saber just Stormbborn Python.
It doesn't feel like it's on beat either.
Balenciaga arena sway. My brother dropped out of school. That nigga rather get paid. I graduated.
But I mean, it's a rap beat. It's supposed to be repetitive and kind of sparse with just that bass thing. An upright bass like that is never a bad thing. And that kind of bell, kind of bring, bring, bring. It's not bad, but it's not my favorite submission for today, style-wise. And West Side Gun plays a part in that. Now let's see. We have two more beats in the normal lineup. One from Master Scratch and one from Il Al. But okay, everyone. Al sent it to the wrong email too first, and where are you? Beat Owl has also sent me a submission on the old email. Which one is the old email? Which one did you send it to? Alan sent it to my like other Gmail account. Beat Owl, I can't find yours at all. Beat Owl is going to be played. Master Scratch first. Yeah, of course. That's fine. And we can take this one. Why did I move it? We can take this one out. Hey. Let's see. And another one came in right now with the YouTube link, which I'm not gonna play. You know, we gotta put an end to this somewhere. We have Master Scratch, we have Beat Owl, and we have Il Al. First of all, Master Scratch, who says, "Hey Ak, greetings, Master Scratch here. So let's dig in that spooky beat here. Peace to everyone watching." Peace, peace, peace. Master Scratch, the beat is called Demonic Possession. Cool. Master Scratch, let's go. Cool. On theme, it's kind of spooky, kind of scary. Nice Halloween track. My only thing that I really want to say about this is that I would try to, just in terms of volume and loudness, I would try to balance the two different sections a little bit more. If it's like a verse and a chorus, I get it, but still, it feels like when you have everything going on with the whole wow, 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 that's dope as fuck. It's really cool. But I'm getting a little bit too much of a difference, too much of a contrast between, you know, the 16 bar loop. That's not even you. My list is all messed up. For like a verse section, this is fine as it is. I'm not saying anything else, but and I like this section way more than like the verse section. And if it's for a rapper, I guess it kind of makes sense. But I would try to match the verse section better to this. Not by taking down stuff in the main, like, bombastic kind of part of it. But just balancing the transition a little bit better. I got real happy whenever it started punching for real. Don't get me wrong. But if it's going to be that busy and that kind of intense, maybe the verse needs to be a little bit harder. Have something that just brings out. Maybe it's just a matter of mixing, you know? And I love that you're sticking with the boom bappy kind of drums and everything. Maybe the hi-hats could be varied somehow. But yeah, what are you saying? I wanted the verse to be more calm and then just boom. I get it. And I think that's nice. I would have tried to do something similar, but I think the boom part is nicer. And the verse part is nice, but less fun. Something with the mixing to just make that one match the boom part a little bit more. Just a little bit. But the vibes... And sometimes I talk about like beats having a melody that you can remember and kind of take with you. This one has it. This one feels hooky somehow. That this is a track I can actually go like humming. Boom da ba dum dum da ba dum 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 dum. You know. The piano fits really nicely in there. 100%. I'm not going to mention the Christmas bells. He can do that if he wants to. So, 2 more beats, then we're done. Second to last is... doesn't even say. What's your name? Beat Owl. Beat Owl. Said it in 3 times. 3 times the charm. Here's a spooky beat from your friend Owl. Altered Owl. Okay. Beat Owl. Okay. The track is called Goodbye. This is not going to be Goodbye. We're going to play Il Al too, but still. Beat Owl, Goodbye. Let's go. to be spooky and scary. Dark. Dark for real. Dude, another one sampling me? Oh, such a cool thing. I love it. Why do you sample me saying dark for real? I mean, dark is not good enough. It has to be spooky and scary. Dark for real. Okay, cool. Being a part of someone's production like that is just, just hits me some way. This track is interesting, especially on the theme, because we've had a lot of horror, we have had a lot of scary, we've had a lot of unsettling. We haven't had a lot of stuff with this vibe. When you kind of use all the vocal chops, it becomes almost a pop song, but still not. I have a hard time putting my finger on the word here, but it feels ghostly, I guess. If we wanna like connect it to this theme, I think it feels more ghostly than, demons and vampires and whatever. Because it's emotional in a different way. It sounds good. It sounds great. The mix is, woo. The snare drum, my friend. The snare drum. Atmospheric, ethereal. I can't say that word, but I know what it is. It feels dreamy, but not in like a beautiful dream. A dream about missing someone. Maybe the ghost itself having a dream about its past life, being all sad about it and still kind of like upset. I don't know. So musical, so beautiful, and still kinda dark. Where's the bass line though? Yeah, that's a question. Where's the bass line? That's a trace of it. It's haunting. Yeah, that's the word. It's haunting. I ran out of time, so no time for bassline. That's fair enough. I think that's a reason as good as any. Plus, you took the time to include me, so I'm more important than the bassline. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Great stuff. Beat out. You know this. You know how good this is. You know how good this is. This is good. It's on theme, but in a different way. And the snare drum is fire. The way you programmed everything. Hands down. Good stuff. Good stuff. Which leads us to the last beat. The last beat for today's Halloween special of the Beat Review. Right? You know that's where we are. Right here. Halloween special. And the last beat for today comes from Alan. Il Al, as he's more known. Not a single word, just sent from my iPhone. Okay. Il Al is a friend of the channel and one of the hosts on the Beatcast. And a dope beatmaker himself. Let's see. Okay, whatever. Il Al. The track is called Halloween Cookies. So you made it for this? So this beat got a placement in a cookie company commercial in Vancouver called Sugar Sugar. For real? A cookie company commercial in Vancouver. Okay, let's go. I did not expect that. Not from Il Al. What? You really went out of your comfort zone, right? This is not what I expected. It's 1:15, so let's, for the hell of it. The bells is not a bad idea. Man, I'm still confused. I've heard a lot of your stuff. I have. It's not like I've heard everything you've done, but this feels like nothing I've heard from you before. But, of course, I mean, choosing a bass sound like that is not something you just do, you know, I'm just going to take this bass, whatever. You thought this through. The bass is really cool. For this theme and in this context, it works so well. A bass sound like that is sometimes, you know, there's nothing wrong with using a bass patch like that, but it's a choice, you know. It's not like an upright bass or an electric bass or an upright, whatever. It's not a sub either. It's a pure synth bass. And it worked really well for this. Together with all the context well, it was made to commission. Okay, sure, but you know, I had no idea you did stuff like this too. It's cool. It's definitely on theme. Definitely feels like a Halloween themed track. Without being like, you know, if you got a placement with this one for a cookie commercial, I guess that's perfect. It's scary and it's obviously Halloween themed, but it's not. It's still kind of fun to listen to. You know what I'm saying? It's not overbearingly like distorted and too dark. It's still kind of bright and fun, but it's definitely a Halloween theme. A Halloween themed beat. Like it. Cool stuff. If this was made for a commission gig, I mean, you're still kind of proud of it, right? It's still one of your tracks. And I think this is really good. That's what I'm trying to say. Between the lines here of me going, hey, is that really... It's good. I like it. I think it's really fun. Really fun, really cool, and totally on point. And definitely a great way to end this show, to end this stream. Because that's the last track we play. How many did we go through? Let's see if we have any more submissions. I'm not going to play them because, you know, it's been almost 3 hours and enough is enough. We have... we have... Who would I be? We have one track that came in right now from Buckshot Jerry, who showed up in the chat. Denying him to be played wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't. So let's think about this one as overtime. You know? Everything we played here was a part of the Halloween special episode of the Beat Review, and now it's overtime. We're going to play one more. It just came in. He just came in. It doesn't make sense not to play it. So let's go. Which means Il Al was still the last submission for the show. This is just a bonus thing. Buckshot Jerry with a track called Nipples. He said, here's a beat I made a while ago, but the scary theme is on point. I hope someone gets the sample. By the way, sorry for the little title, but the context is not explicit. What's the title? Nipples, okay. And it totally disappeared. Buckshot Jerry, Nipples.
So, nipples, huh?
Call the police.
Nipples, huh? No, sir, I don't think I have any use for rubber nipples. I'll tell you what, though. have any rubber walls protectors.
Call the police.
So is that the Ren and Stimpy sample? Ren and Stimpy is out of my references, whatever. It's a cool track. It's a little bit empty, to be honest, but it's not bad. And it's fun, and it's on theme in its own way. Switching it up with that kind of drum and bass jungle rhythm, it's a fun idea. It is. The Discord should be mentioned in the description of the video. It's not. So no, I forgot it. The Discord, hold on. The Discord is coming. Invite people, edit link, generate, copy, boom, pay. Can't paste. Can't paste the link, guys. Copy. Okay, I can't paste the link. That's weird. Can someone else? Or maybe I could just go here. I think I have a link in another video. Should be pure text. Should be able to... Nope. I can't paste it. I can type though, but I can't paste the link. I'm sorry. I'm gonna... If you want the Discord, it's on my last video. It should be on most of my recent videos. In the description, you should be able to find the link. And I should get another view on a video. You know what, guys? This is it for the Halloween special of the Beat Review show. Definitely. Not going to play anymore. I'm just going to check the inbox just for fun. Refresh. What if there's a beat? What do I do? Well, whatever. Let's. We have to put an end to it somewhere. So this one was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. A lot of great beats for sure. You guys are crazy. High and low. We had some scary stuff. We had some demonic stuff. We had some ghostly stuff. We had some skeleton kind of dance track. And now people are showing up with the super chats. Symphonic beats to $50. Stream didn't disappoint. Now for Christmas flips. And the Beatcast with $2. Thanks for doing fun themed shows like this. I try, you know? I try. We have the tiny one, the kind of large one, and the huge one. You know? Gotta represent the pumpkins on the Halloween special. So this show is over, and we're gonna do another themed episode around Christmas with Christmas beats, but it's not for a while. So next episode in 2 weeks will just be a normal, good old beat review with whatever. When do I stream? It's all on my website, www.accuratebeats.com. Everything should be there. It's the same time and the same channel every other Monday for beat reviews and my 3, 4, 5 hour long live beat making sessions whenever I kind of feel like it. So the schedule is every other Monday for beat reviews. Next episode, you're not going to get 24 hours to send in your beats. You're going to have to send it in as at show start, basically, 8 o'clock my time. But we're just doing whatever next week, next episode. Prism submitted too late. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't extend this any further. So if there's more emails in there, I'm just gonna have to not do it, because now it's been 3 hours and that's it. So again, thanks a lot for hanging out, and I hope to see you guys on my next live stream whenever I just make a beat myself, and in 2 weeks for the next episode of the Beat Review. So thanks a lot for hanging out for this Halloween theme, I should say, this Halloween special. But now we have to go. I gotta get to bed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. That camera. Peace out. Boom.